Hello everyone, and welcome to my Law and Our American TV show official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Summer finds Phyllis at the club bar. Phyllis is delighted she's there. Summer has a huge photo of Heather and places it on an easel. Phyllis feels this shouldn't be occurring. Summer asks how she's doing. Phyllis is well. She gets that her kids don't trust she can get justice and would rather accept instructions from Christine. Summer worries her way will lead her into trouble. Phyllis says it won't, and for her kid, it's worth the risk. I've realized I can only count on myself to get things done. Christine finds Daniel on the patio at Crimson Lights. She asks how he's doing. He wishes he could wake up from this nightmare. Christine says they're all there for him, and his father sends his love. Daniel says he and Lucy have called him. He told his daughter they'd have another celebration of life for her mom when she returns home. Christine promises to fight like hell to prove he's innocent. Daniel wants more than that. He wants justice. Christine says Heather will have justice and so will he. She'll see to it. Daniel asks whether she has a list of suspects. Christine claims the people she put away, who would have had motive, are still having time. But the more she thinks about Sharon focusing her fury toward him and his family, the more she's starting to see what Phyllis was talking about. Daniel asks, "Really?" Just then, Sharon, Faith, and Nick walk in, suited for the service. Christine tells Daniel the facts are persuasive. She needs someone she can show to the court that will present reasonable doubt. Sharon was observed attacking them, her unstable mental state, her troubles with the medicines. Most critically, she was the last person to see Heather alive. It raises concerns and questions, and they will utilize that to their advantage. Inside, Faith informs Nick that she texted Lucy. They discuss whether she should be there right now. Faith worries about her not getting to say goodbye to her mother. "What do you think, Mom?" Sharon is distracted and doesn't hear her. Nick asks if she's okay. She claims she's not, and she wishes she didn't have to go to this service. Faith tells her she shouldn't go if she doesn't want to. Sharon truly wishes none of this had occurred. It's all very sad. She's felt sad for too long. Nick feels it's understandable she's feeling stressed. He doesn't think she should go either. Sharon says she has to go. The pain and sadness over Cassie had taken over. "Maybe this will help me let go." At the club, Summer chats to Phyllis about her vendetta. Phyllis argues it's justice. Summer says she's trying to pin Heather's murder on Sharon without facts. Phyllis thinks her gut is never wrong. She's trying to release Daniel and stop a trial from happening. "Why can't you trust me on this?" Phyllis chats to Lucy by phone and then tells Summer they need to get Heather's favorite flower for Daniel to wear as a boutonniere. Summer likes the idea. She advises her mother her intentions for Sharon may wait until tomorrow, or maybe never. Phyllis sends her to the florist. Summer returns with the boutonniere, and she asks her mom, "How are we going to say goodbye?" Phyllis says they'll do it with love. They'll hug Daniel and Lucy close. She'll have to start preparing peanut butter and banana pancakes. At Crimson Lights, Daniel asks Christine what's next. Christine thinks today is about him. She wishes Paul was well enough to be there. She cries up, "He loved how much you loved his daughter." Daniel thanks her. Christine tells him to concentrate on getting through Heather's funeral. "We're all here for you." Daniel blinks away tears. "Okay, we should probably get going." They walk inside and Sharon turns away as Nick tells Daniel he knows this would be a challenging day. Daniel walks over to Sharon, who hopes he's holding up as well as can be anticipated. Daniel says he's hanging in there. "Don't take this the wrong way. I strongly urge you don't attend to Heather's funeral." Sharon asks if this is because of Phyllis and her crazy claims. Daniel doesn't want a scene. His mother is convinced she killed Heather. If she shows up, he doesn't know what she'll do. He doesn't want to deal with it. Sharon can manage Phyllis and wants to say goodbye to Heather. It's the right thing to do. Daniel sighs. I guess that depends where you're sitting. Nick asks, everything all right here? Sharon says she was just telling Daniel how much it means to say goodbye to Heather. She walks off. Nick offers to take Sharon home. Daniel replies, it clearly means a lot and wishes Lucy were there. Daniel argues it's best for her to be away when her father is accused of her mother's murder. At the club, Phyllis tells Heather's photo, I promise you that I will get justice for you, and my granddaughter, and my son. At the burial site, Daniel looks at Heather's casket. Chance and Summer arrive. Summer walks over to her brother and presents him the boutonniere from Lucy, who wanted him to know she's with him today. Daniel recalls that Heather had such roses back in Savannah. Summer pins it on his lapel. He asks her to will him to not break down and lose it today. Summer promises him they'll get through this. We won't let Mom ruin today. Daniel says, have we ever been able to stop her? Sharon, Nick, and others file in. Phyllis appears and says to Summer that she can't believe that bitch showed up. Summer advises her no plans. For Daniel's sake, they need to let Daniel say farewell to Heather. Phyllis says the only reason they're saying goodbye to her is because of that woman. Daniel walks up and snaps, not today. Phyllis responds, I've got you, baby. She walks away, giving a glimpse in Sharon's direction. The officiant begins the service. Phyllis shoots, looks at Sharon as he speaks. Tears track down Daniel's cheeks as he tells about Heather's love for Daniel and Lucy. He urges guests to provide a final remembrance of Heather and place a rose on her casket. Phyllis, Daniel, and Summer stand and do so. Michael, Lauren, and Christine follow. Nick, Faith, and Sharon go last. Sharon ended up standing at the casket on her own. There are no roses left in the container. Phyllis hands her one and stares her in the eye. Sharon takes it and places it on the casket. Later, Daniel is alone with the casket and remembers that Heather told him not so long ago that they had a fantastic love story. He didn't think it was over. Daniel assumed they would escort Lucy down the aisle together. He can't picture his life without her in it. I promise you, I am always going to be there for her. Daniel understands she's thinking he should stop languishing and go out there and do what needs to be done. That's what he's going to do. She dedicated her life to justice, and he's going to win justice for her. I'm going to find whoever did this to you and make them pay. I'm going to make them pay for what they took from me and what they took from Lucy. He lays his head down and cries. Phyllis observes him from a distance and looks heartbroken for her son. At the club, Michael and Lauren talk to Christine about Paul being sad. Chris claims he's feeling better every day but wasn't well enough to travel. Lauren remarks on how well Daniel's holding up. Chris doesn't know how someone is meant to deal with this knowing they're being framed. Chance and Summer step in. He asks why all eyes are on him. Summer snaps that no one there believes that Daniel is remotely capable of what he's accused him of. Chance claims it was the DA's call. He's there to pay his respects and support them. Irritated, he asks, can we please leave the police business at the door? At the door, Nick tells Sharon and Faith they don't have to stay long. Nick and Sharon stroll over to Heather's photo. He asks if she's okay. Sharon says it's a shock seeing her face. Phyllis approaches up and asks, is that how she looked when you murdered her, Sharon? Nick believes it's not the time and place, but Phyllis says it is. Daniel's being framed when the guilty party is there right in front of them. Sharon moves off to join Faith in the bar. Nick assures Phyllis that Sharon had nothing to do with Heather's death. Phyllis asks, are you sure, Nick? Daniel appears and thanks everyone for coming. Nick says, I'm so sorry, and hugs him. Summer places a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Daniel's not sure he can handle this. Michael and Lauren approach Daniel with hugs and profess their affection. Nick rejoins Sharon and Faith and claims he warned Phyllis not to cause trouble. Faith asks what's going on. Nick claims Phyllis is so determined to protect her son that she has come up with her own explanation about what happened to Heather. Sharon says she's stating she's the one who killed Heather. Faith shouts, "That's ridiculous." Sharon believes it's easier for her to blame someone she despises than to watch her son go on trial. Faith asks how her mother can be so caring. Nick claims Phyllis is acting on sheer mother instinct. "I'm telling you, she doesn't do anything halfway." Across the room, Phyllis asks Christine if she has information for her on her son's defense. Christine claims it's on a need-to-know basis. They have an exchange concerning Phyllis' theory about Sharon. Chris says she'll look into it and walks away. Michael stops Christine and asks how it's looking for Daniel. She says the proof is damning. Michael's convinced she'll exonerate him. Phyllis interrupts and asks for everyone's attention. She has something to say, and she thinks they'll all want to hear it. Summer and Daniel intercede, but Phyllis swears she knows what she's doing. She talks about Heather's pointless, awful demise. They're still all trying to discover answers and to find justice. What they do have are memories. She asks if anyone would like to come up there and share a reminiscence about Heather. She'll start. Phyllis says she and Heather had a tumultuous relationship years ago, but when Michael couldn't represent her, Heather defended her. She's really grateful to her. Heather adored her family with everything she had. She will always be grateful for her deep and abiding love for her granddaughter and her son. She loved her family with everything she had. Summer goes next. She respected Heather so much. She admired her. When she became a mom to Lucy, her life took on a whole new meaning. It's something she experienced too. She loved Lucy passionately and unconditionally and always placed her daughter first, even when it wasn't easy. Michael tells everyone about Heather's excellent law career. She was determined to doing what was right. It was great to see how close she and her father became after so many years apart. Paul would tell them he would always be proud of his brilliant and shining daughter. No parent should ever have to bury a child. The heart isn't intended for it. Sharon cries up. Phyllis pushes Daniel to step up next. He does so, and tells everyone that Heather was the love of his life. She was strong and gorgeous. She understood exactly what she wanted, and more than anything, she wanted them to be a family again. She never lost hope or faith in him or their future. She made things better. She made us better. She made us a family. Daniel talks of her radiance and excitement. Sharon, who has become distraught, walks out. By the stairs, Sharon attempts to gather herself. Phyllis appears and asks, "Are you going somewhere?" Sharon claims she just needs some air. Phyllis guesses it's hard to watch. It's like a hole burning in her gut. "It's hard to see my son in pain, right? See his tears? You did that. You caused that, Sharon." Sharon protests, "I did not kill Heather." Phyllis says, "You did." She pleads with Sharon to please just acknowledge it, to please remember who she is and what she stands for. "Please save my son." Sharon rushes out the door, crying. Phyllis follows her outside and watches her with tears on her cheeks. So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comment below. And if you like my videos, please press like and subscribe for more. I will see you guys next time.